Hi, my name is Scott.
Yes, it is.
I would like to ask you to please like, subscribe, and or follow This Is True Really News.
In a very creepy voice.
In a very creepy way. And please.
We've now passed creepy and gone into disturbing.
Disturbing. Please tell your friends to like, subscribe, and or follow This Is True Really News as well.
Could be dippy, I suppose.
Hang on, let's see if I can do Shatner.
Everyone can do Shatner.
Loans.
Just
whose fries are these?
After every other word.
And we'd be fine. Anyway,
No,
just
and
do it.
we'd be fine.
Do it or we'll act again.
There's a threat. That was acting. Of course, that's what they said about Shatner for years.
Exactly.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true,
Really?
as far as you know.
Oh, where to begin? Oh, hey, we did the pig heart thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on a medical run here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, I have one of those.
Oh, you can have one of your own. Just look for the link.
Attaboy. Capitalism at its finest. 42-year-old Cameron Newsom of Colorado Springs, Colorado, treated for stage 4. Is it squamous cell carcinoma on her tongue?
Yes.
Okay, back in 2013.
Wow.
According to New York Post story, removing the tumor meant also removing part of the tongue, which doctors replaced with skin and muscle taken from her thigh. Is this where you make the running off with the mouth joke?
Absolutely. Yeah. Good timing, by the way.
It's the most important part of comedy.
What is? Tell me what the most important part of comedy is.
Timing.
Thank you.
Through all of her experiences in treating the cancer, she said, the weirdest part was when I felt a rough texture on the thigh part of my tongue. And then I looked in the mirror. You know what happened?
There was hair growing.
It started growing like hair.
Well, she can brush her teeth now without using a toothbrush.
Between every meal.
During.
Just Newsom had to learn to speak again. That figures. And still finds eating a challenge, but she's back to being a gymnastics coach. Even with the fuzzy tongue.
And especially after long nights of partying.
How do you get the razor in there is what I want to know. They're going to be Nixon, Bruce. No.
Bradford Weitzel.
Like
30, what?
Little girls laying by mom and rubbing her legs. Wow, mom, that feels funny. Does it feel prickly? No, furry.
Ooh.
Excuse me, dear.
I'll just
be back in a minute.
Bradford Weitzel, 38, told police officers he left a bar early Saturday morning and couldn't find his car. So he did what anybody leaving a bar early Saturday morning would do. He stole a different car to go look for his.
It's what any sane man would do.
The car died on some train tracks as a train was approaching.
Of course.
Bradford, not being your average fool, quickly skedaddled.
He's an above average fool?
Yep, because the train hit the car.
Oh, see?
And the car hit a nearby house, whose sleeping occupants were fortunately not injured, but were now wide awake.
One would think.
A Facebook post shows pictures of the car up against the house. Okay. Bradford also vandalized a nearby fruit stand and attempted to steal a forklift before finally flagging down deputies to alert them he couldn't find his car.
You might want to start with that.
The thing after, I can't find my car. Oh, look, fruit.
What? I can't find my car. Oh, here's another one. I'll try that. That will take me to my other car.
Right.
Oh, darn. The car is stalled and a train is coming. I shall leave now. And fruit.
It's exactly that.
Frickin' shiny object.
He got into a whole F's thing. Fruit, then the forklift. Then he flagged down the cops.
Thinking.
He's charged with grand theft and criminal mischief. More charges are expected.
Wow. So, I got to tell you, the folks at Audi are fun.
Okay.
ODDEE. Because they have 5 things that exploded for bizarre reasons. Now, let's be honest. When guys go to a movie, they're looking for
Explosions
good acting,
and karate
a
fights
fine story,
and explosions.
intelligent directing, good editing,
A
great
hot
music.
babe or two.
Hell no. We're looking for things go boom.
Yep. Big
We
deal.
want bullets, explosions, and fights. At least those of us when they taste do. All right.
That's right.
Weird
We like high
explosion.
art.
Weird. Yeah, art's okay. If he's, shooting something.
Yeah, there you go.
In 2019, a huge fire broke out on an Australian agricultural facility. Minji Lee lives in Australia. No one got hurt, luckily, but the facility was completely destroyed. According to reports, a good deal of the damage came from a rather unexpected source. The facility, you see, was a cattle breeding complex. And as the fire went on, dozens of pressurized containers containing
Pressurized.
bull goo
Oh.
started exploding.
Oh.
Oh, hang on. This is just the first
do
one.
my headline joke with that one.
No, you can't. According to local emergency services, the fire heated up the liquid inside the tanks, causing it to rapidly expand.
Yes.
The end result was, well,
Bluey.
Let's just call it a mechanical version of what could happen naturally at times. Some of the tanks were propelled to the walls as missiles with the payload.
It gives a whole new meaning to.
Yeah, it does. The ones that flew the farthest were actually found in yards of neighboring properties.
See, those would have been the good ones. They would have made superior cows.
Yes, because we all want cows. Exploding chewing gum kills a 25-year-old Ukrainian chemistry student.
What?
2009, Vladimir met a tragic end. His jaw and most of his face blew clean off when a piece of bubble gum exploded in his mouth.
How?
That's not as funny as the bull goo.
No.
Apparently,
Not
the
at
student
all.
was a fan of chewing and used to dip it in citric acid to get more flavor out of it. He was also into the practice of chemistry. He'd like to make homemade firecrackers. The stupid is beginning to form. According to local police, one Saturday night, the young man most likely dipped his chewing gum in the wrong container. And when he bit down, well,
He blew up.
Yeah, let's just say emergency responders had nothing to do when they got there. How about this case? A series of explosions and then a big bang. This has nothing to do with Sheldon Leonard and Penny, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
No, or Minji Lee or Lydia Ko. And I didn't even mention Hawaii.
Or the All Blacks.
In 2005, people found more than 1,000 toads in the 100 miles between the city of Hamburg, actually it'd be Hamburg, and the Danish border that had mysteriously exploded. How did they know there were
frogs?
How did they know there were 1,000 of these rascals? I mean, because come on, a toad explodes.
There ain't that much there to begin
You're
with.
not going to try and piece them back together because,
Well, if you're CIA, you might.
yeah, it could be.
What if they're
No.
commie toads? You know.
I mean this not as a joke. No one can make heads or tails of blown up amphibians. No, that's honestly written that way. Experts test the pond water and check the splattered remains for viruses or bacteria. Found nothing out of the ordinary. Then one scientist figured out the most likely cause.
Was.
Local crows.
What?
They had developed a taste for toad livers and learned to peck the organs out without immediately killing the toad. Toads have a natural defensive reaction where they puff themselves up when threatened. But with gaping holes made by the crows in their chests and their livers, well, missing, the sudden increase in blood pressure, well, bang.
Splut.
Toad stew. See, crows, man. 2013, Brooklyn man and 3 others in his co-op were injured and scared to flush the toilets. 58-year-old Michael Pierre was in his bathroom when his Flushmate brand toilet suddenly exploded. He forced I think I saw this in
Do they come in
Columbiana,
tandem?
didn't I?
2 toilets, flushmate.
Didn't Zoe explode? No, she exploded a wall. Never mind. It wasn't quite
No,
the
it's
same
different.
thing.
Yeah.
The force of the blast showered Pierre in porcelain. Needed 30 stitches in his head, arms, and legs to close the profusely bleeding wounds.
And
He's
was
grateful.
Was
he's
he
grateful
looking in the toilet at the
He's
time?
grateful he wasn't sitting on it at the time.
Oh, so he was
And
looking in.
You've got an oddball thought of snakes.
Yeah.
This would scare me.
Okay.
You're just sitting back, get your paper open, and suddenly you're halfway across the room bleeding. The reason behind the explosion was plumbing work to install a backflow prevention valve. I don't know how that works. The contractor turned off the water, which resulted in air building up inside the pipes until the pressure was too much. And well, boom.
Boom. Yes. Wow.
And part of the blame did lie with the Flushmaster toilets. In 2012, the brand's toilets were recalled in the U.S. and Canada due to faulty weld seams that allowed pressure to travel back up the tank. And last but not least, it was a quiet morning, 1908, on the Tunguska Plateau in the eastern Siberian taiga.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Do they have tacos there?
Yes.
Okay.
And then suddenly, there was no eastern Siberian taiga. Out of the blue, an enormous explosion, estimated at 12 megatons, flattened 830 square miles of forest.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
That would put, if you want perspective on this, that would be 10 times the destructive force of your average modern day nuclear weapon.
Yep.
The shockwave of the explosion threw people off their feet, shattered windows hundreds of miles away. The most bizarre thing about the event is that there's never been an explosion crater found. You would expect something to go boom that big. So we have conjecture, the most likely being, at least according to current research, a stony meteorite roughly the size of a Boeing 747 detonated roughly 5 miles above the Earth's surface. And in an incredible stroke of luck, the thing landed in a barely populated Russian wilderness instead of, say, Central Europe.
That is such a weird story.
Just remember, at any time, any day, you too could. See, I was always worried about spontaneous combustion. Now I have a whole nother worry.
So have you ever seen a street name that ended in close?
As in CLOTHES?
No. CLOSE. It also looks like close.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of those?
Have not.
Closes show up more in Great Britain than they do here, but occasionally you'll see something like St. Andrew's Close, CLOSE, but it looks like close. So St. Andrew's Close.
Well, good.
Cute.
That's where I was headed.
The term originated with cathedral closes. These were areas of land which surrounded a cathedral, usually belonging to the church, and which came under the jurisdiction of the bishop and the ecclesiastical court, not the city authorities and the sheriff's court.
Okay, that was a while back, but yep.
Yep. This often meant that closes had less crime than other parts of the city. The houses in closes were often built to a good standard. And since living in a close often meant living in a well-built house in a highly respectable neighborhood, having an address in the close can be associated with high status.
Hoity and or toity.
Yes. Now, I told
Something you and I look for all the time because we're actually social climbers.
That's us.
Boy.
The hoitiest of the toitiest. That's us.
Often.
So I told you that story to tell you this.
Tell me this story.
Yeah. There's a new meme out, and considering
meme out?
It's a new.
Is that what you called your grandma?
New meme.
No, that's meme. Sorry.
Meme. I called her grandma.
That would only make sense to me.
There's a new meme out in UK. Coming to a school near you. A picture of the road sign, St. Andrew's Close. This isn't a road sign; it's a warning.
Oh, that's just wrong.
Yep. Well, and he deserves every inch of that. Go get him.
Yep.
He's earned it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
This is true, really news. Send email to TiTR@netradio.network.